So, Chiboy Okoye was the cherished only son of Mr. and Mrs. Okoye, humble farmers in Anambra State. Though they tilled the red earth with calloused hands, they dreamed of a future brighter than their mud brick home. When the opportunity arose to apprentice with Chiboy's wealthy uncle in Lagos, they wept tears of pride and fear, knowing their son's life would change forever. Uncle Okoye, known throughout Alaba International Market as Oga, owned gleaming shops and a grand bungalow. Beside him lived his glamorous wife, Madam Cynthia, whose flawless beauty hid a cold heart. Cynthia cared only for her own children and her luxurious home. She greeted Chiboy with polite smiles, but watched him with suspicion. Lagos hit Chiboy with a thunderous energy. Oga's compound stood behind high gates adorned with electric spikes, flanked by expensive cars. Cynthia's children played in a manicured courtyard, far removed from Chiboy's village memories. Inside the vast electrical shop, Oga signaled Chiboy to fetch tools and clean floors. Behind closed doors, Cynthia whispered to her sister about the country boy who dared to dream beyond his station. Chiboy forced a polite nod, determined that hard work would outweigh their disdain. Oga's kindness existed only in reputation. In the house, chores multiplied, sweeping the marble floors, ironing clothes, cooking elaborate meals. Each task came with a sneer from Cynthia. "Don't smudge the tiles, boy." Food was rationed and often left over. Many nights, Chiboy went to bed hungry. Yet in the shop, both admired his skill. Traders called him our young king for his courteous bargaining and a flawless wiring. Late nights found Chiboy repairing generators and stocking cables. Exhaustion pounded in his skull, but he remembered his parents' hopes. Every drop of sweat counted toward the freedom he envisioned and his uncle's hidden jealousy. Back in Anambra, his parents prayed over every letter they received. Chiboy wrote of successes, how he mastered circuit boards and earned small tips, but hid the cruelty at home. Cynthia's barbed remarks echoed in his mind, yet he clung to his market family's praise. Among Alaba's maze of stores, Chiboy learned secrets, where to find discounted fuses, which wholesalers trusted newcomers, and how to navigate Lagos traffic to save minutes. Each lesson fed his vision of one day owning a shop of his own, filled with goods from floor to ceiling. As months stretched into years, rumors of Chiboy's skill spread beyond Oga's walls. Senior traders entrusted him with large orders, power generators, wiring kits, light fixtures, and paid him on delivery. Cynthia watched these accolades with thinly veiled envy. Meanwhile, Oga whispered to his wife and children about the apprentice's rising popularity. They met in the drawing room to plot how to keep him beneath their thumb until the envy in their hearts darkened into something deadly. Chiboy endured 7 long years under Oga's roof. Through sickness, hunger, and humiliation, he never gave up. He learned everything: how to handle customers, source from trusted suppliers, and even manage delivery logistics. He became the heartbeat of the shop. At the end of the 7th year, Oga handed him an envelope. Inside was 500,000 naira. Chiboy stared at the money, barely believing his eyes. After all those years, that was all. He forced a smile, thanked Oga, and quietly walked back inside. His heart burned, but not with anger, with determination. Despite being settled, Chiboy remained in Oga's house. The money was too small to immediately rent a good apartment or fully start his own business. So he continued staying in the same servant quarters, doing chores and quietly planning his next step. He didn't complain. He saved every kobo he could. He started small with the 500,000 naira, buying light bulbs, wires, and small electronics to resell. He kept the profits low but consistent, using his strong market network to build trust. Though he was technically free, the maltreatment in Oga's house continued. But Chiboy bore it, telling himself, just a little longer. Then came the breakthrough. A contractor in the market who had watched Chiboy's growth offered him a chance to supply cables for a building project. Chiboy risked it all, topping his savings with borrowed funds, and delivered the goods promptly. The profit shocked him. 2.8 million naira. That single deal changed his life. With it, he stocked his own shop, paid a deposit for a flat worth over 1 million naira, and began to dream beyond Alaba. Still, he didn't move immediately. He told Oga he'd move in 3 days. But those 3 days were enough for Oga's jealousy to boil over. On a golden morning, Chiboy rang the mansion bell. He announced, "Madam Cynthia, I have rented my own home and shop. In 3 days, I will move in." His voice held respect but brimmed with triumph. Cynthia's painted lips curved into a smile as false as polished glass. "Wonderful," she cooed, masking her venom. That evening, Oga convened his family, whispering, "If we let him go, he'll become greater than all of us. We must stop him before he leaves." 3 nights before the move, Chiboy celebrated quietly. He returned home late, hopeful and tired. The mansion was dark. Cynthia claimed the light went out and told him to start the generator. As he bent near the generator, Oga struck him from behind with a thick wooden beam. Cynthia and the children watched. Chiboy collapsed without a sound. He never got up again. They bundled Chiboy's lifeless body into the boot of Oga's car and drove silently toward Lagos mainland bridge. In the dark silence, the weight of their crime hung heavy, but they told themselves they had removed a threat. At the bridge, they dumped him under a quiet overpass and sped away into the night. Cynthia instructed the children to stay quiet. "No one must ever know," she warned, but guilt had already begun its whisper. 2 days passed. Alaba market traders grew uneasy. Chiboy's shop remained closed. Calls to his number went unanswered. Some thought he traveled. Others assumed he was sick. But on the 5th day, whispers turned into alarm. "Where is Chiboy?" became the market anthem. The boy who once greeted everyone was nowhere to be found, and silence began to weigh heavy across the stalls. A week after Chiboy's disappearance, Oga's son arrived at the market. To everyone's shock, he walked straight to Chiboy's shop, unlocked it, and began selling the items inside. People stopped. Faces turned. Eyes narrowed. "Where is Chiboy?" they asked. The boy stuttered. "He's not been home in weeks," he replied. But the shop key, the stock. The lie fell apart before it was finished. A trader, Mama A's, called the police. "This isn't right," she said. Officers arrived. They took Oga's son for questioning. Within hours, the boy cracked. He sobbed under pressure. "My father, they killed him because he was rising too fast. They didn't want him to live and become greater than us." The word shattered the market. Police stormed Oga's mansion. Cynthia wept dramatically. Oga claimed innocence, but the evidence piled quickly. The confession, blood-stained clothing, generator footage, and Chiboy's phone all told the same story. Then the body was found beneath the bridge. A community mourned. A mother screamed. A father collapsed. Chiboy's journey had ended, but his name was about to begin a new legacy. Court hearings began. The courtroom overflowed with Alaba traders. Some came to testify, others to stand in solidarity. They spoke of Chiboy's discipline, humility, and generosity. A boy who rose through sweat, not shortcuts. The prosecutor painted a clear picture: greed, jealousy, and betrayal by those who were meant to guide him. Cynthia and Olga's defense broke down. Their silence, their stammering excuses, and the strength of the testimonies condemned them. The judge shook her head. "What kind of heart kills potential because of fear?" she asked. Even the courtroom clock wept as pictures of Chiboy's dreams, his lease documents, his stocked shop, his plans were shown. The police recovered Chiboy's body from under the bridge. The coroner's report confirmed blunt force trauma to the skull. His mother fainted upon hearing the news. His father collapsed in heartbreak. Community leaders organized a vigil in the market. Candles flickered as traders shared stories of Chiboy's kindness, his dreams, and his unbroken spirit in the face of cruelty. Formal charges followed swiftly. Olga, his wife, and their son were arrested and held in custody. The courtroom brimmed with market folk who offered statements about Chiboy's character and the family's long-standing mistreatment. The judge listened as prosecutors laid out the brutal sequence: years of abuse, culminating in premeditated murder. The defense tried to paint it as an accident, but the community's grief spoke louder than any plea during the trial. Video from a nearby shop's security camera showed the family car speeding toward the mainland bridge that fateful night. The ledger from Chiboy's shop, stained with rainwater, testified to his final days of hope. Witnesses recounted his unwavering politeness, his careful savings, and how he had been days away from independence. Their tears painted the portrait of a young man betrayed by those who should have protected him. The prosecution rested on a powerful closing: that Chiboy paid the ultimate price for daring to claim his freedom. His dreams of running his own business crushed beneath the blows meant to shatter his spirit. In a summation, the prosecutor urged the court to honor Chiboy's legacy by ensuring justice. "Let this verdict remind every Lagos trader that cruelty has consequences," she declared. The defense, desperate, pleaded for leniency, citing family stress and fear of Olga's rising debts. But jurors whispered among themselves, how could anyone sympathize with murderers? When the judge called for a verdict, tension crackled like static. Market traders gathered outside, holding banners reading "Justice for Chiboy." Their vigil had become a call for change. "Guilty on all counts," the court proclaimed. The words hammered like a gavel into the hearts of Olga and his family. Tears streamed from the bench as Chiboy's mother clutched her husband's hand. Sentencing was set for the following week. In the interim, Alaba Market declared a day of remembrance, temporarily closing stalls in Chiboy's honor. On the sentencing day, the courtroom brimmed with supporters. Chiboy's father spoke briefly. "My son dreamed of building a future, not ending it under cowardly blows." His voice cracked, but his eyes burned with resolve. The judge, a stern woman known for fairness, addressed the family. "Your betrayal of kinship and commerce demands a sentence that reflects the severity of your crime." Mr. and Mrs. Okoye's brother and his son, henceforth referred to as defendants, are each sentenced to 20 years imprisonment for murder, the judge declared. The heinous nature of this betrayal demands no less. As handcuffs clicked, a hush fell over the court. Outside, Alaba market traders lowered heads, then raised them in determination. Chiboy's spirit would live on in every honest trade, every act of kindness, and in the promise that no humble dream would be crushed again. In Alaba, Chiboy's shop was turned into a memorial, his tools displayed, his picture hung, his market table never closed again. 3 apprentices he had trained were chosen to continue the business. All profits now funded a scholarship for other poor boys with big dreams. From Chiboy's pain, purpose was born. His parents were flown in from Anambra. The traders contributed funds. When his mother saw the shop, she wept, not just for loss, but for the honor her son had earned. He made us proud, she said. They returned home with medals, not money. And in their village, his story became legend. The Lagos press covered the story. Apprentice killed by jealous ogre made headlines. But the deeper tale was one of survival, of legacy, of truth. Schools invited his parents to speak. NGOs reached out. Chiboy's name meant something now, 5 years later. Oga, now gray and forgotten, sat in a cell with nothing but regrets. Cynthia no longer played the proud madam. Her cell was cold and quiet. Their riches faded, their name erased, their hearts filled with bitterness and shame. Their children refused to visit. The mansion was auctioned. Chiboy's light had outshone their darkness. On Chiboy's birthday, every year, the market holds a candlelight vigil. Traders wear white. Candles line the stalls. Young apprentices read stories about dreams. The old chant, "We will protect the next Chiboy." His name became more than a memory. It became a vow. Mama Eze, the woman who called the police, was honored. She stood with Chiboy's mother and said, "This boy taught us that silence is dangerous. If you see evil, speak." A small statue of Chiboy, holding his toolbox and smiling, was placed at Alaba Gate. Moral: no matter how long it takes, hard work, humility, and perseverance will open doors. But envy and wickedness may silence a dreamer's voice, yet never his legacy. Let us uplift one another, not destroy what we fear. Greatness cannot be killed. It only multiplies when rooted in truth. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more meaningful tales.